I just want to turn now over the uproar over the census. At least 12 states now say they will sue the Trump administration to block the administration from adding a question about citizenship to the 2020 census. The Commerce Department says the question will help determine possible violations of the Voting Rights Act and protect minority voting rights. But Democrats say it amounts to a, quote, craven attack on our democracy. Joining me right now is the host of Michelle Malkin Investigates on CRTV.com, Michelle Malkin. Michelle, good to see you.
You too, Maria. Thank you.
Why are Democrats so up in arms about this? It seems logical to have that question in there.
It does. And I think to most people in flyover country, the idea of a country asking who's in it is something that should be basic. But only in America will the federal government get sued by states for asking that basic question. It is bizarre. What it really is about is a power grab. It's about control over the electoral landscape, because this census is used to divvy up seats in the House based on a proportion of the head count. And then, of course, it doesn't just affect those congressional districts, because the Electoral College uses the size of congressional districts as well as a gauge. And the thing that I think people are missing in terms of context here is that dating back to the Carter administration, the Open Borders lobby has used the annual census as an argument to freeze immigration raids and ICE actions at work sites. That was the policy officially under Clinton. It was the unspoken policy through the Obama administration as well. And what's happened is that you have a Trump administration now that has showed at every level that it is serious about immigration enforcement. And finally, for the first time, when the next census is taken, they are not going to be in charge and in control. They do not have the reins. It's a $3 billion industry, if you think about it. That's what the census budget is. I think people's minds would be blown if they know that. And it's been a slush fund for a number of left-wing groups that are used as the census workers to go out there and pound the pavement and do these questionnaires.
Yeah, Michelle, I mean, you also have to be just, shocked at what's going on in California. I don't know about shocked, but I mean, it's just a stunner. Officials in Orange County, California, voting to join a lawsuit fighting the state's sanctuary city laws hours after the county sheriff's department announced it will publicly list release dates of inmates, including those in the country illegally. Here's what Vice Chairman of the county's Board of Supervisors told me about the moves earlier on this program. Listen to this.
The board took action basically to stand up for the people of Orange County, stand up for the sheriff, and let California know that despite their desires to release criminals into our neighborhoods under the guise of being kind, that we weren't going to tolerate that.
Your reaction, Michelle?
Well, there is somewhat of a new opt-out movement in California. I don't know if it's too little too late, but there are still pockets of sanity. Orange County is one of them, certain regions in San Diego County as well. We've already heard from a couple of localities, including Los Alamitos, that are moving to pass ordinances to defy the sanctuary status. Remember, there were 3 bills that were passed and signed by Jerry Brown. One of them dealt with worksite enforcement and the state basically ordering private employers not to allow ICE onto their premises, which is just astounding that this is even legal. And then the other 2 dealing with detention and, as the law enforcement officer just mentioned, about being able to notify the public when criminal illegal aliens are about to be released if they're not going to be picked up by ICE. So you have an anti-sanctuary movement. Again, I wonder if it's too little too late. And really, the bottom line is, if these outlaw counties and cities and places like San Francisco are not prosecuted for breaking our immigration laws, for aiding and abetting illegal aliens, how does it stop?
Exactly. No, I think this is really a stunning story, and we will, of course, be watching it. Let me ask you about the FBI news, because finally the director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, responds to the subpoena, which we told you about a week ago. Now Wray says he will double the number of staff members combing through documents to comply with the requests from Republicans for records on the investigation into the Hillary Clinton email server. This move comes just days after House Judiciary Committee Chairman Bob Goodlatte subpoenaed the Justice Department to get those documents. Here's what Goodlatte first told me about obtaining the records right before he issued that subpoena.
We need to have those documents. The department and the Bureau have been slow, I would say now very slow, in getting them to us. The last time I was on your program, I expressed confidence that we would have those documents forthcoming. And here we are several weeks later, still don't have them, so this is coming to a head.
So it is coming to a head, and Christopher Wray now has responded, and he agrees it's been slow.
Yeah, thanks a lot. You know, the F in FBI has always stood for foot dragging when it comes to document production in FOIA requests, public records requests. This is something that the IG of the DOJ currently, Michael Horowitz, pointed out under the Obama administration. They did it with Fast and Furious. They did it with the IRS investigation. And hide and seek and run out the clock have been their MO. So finally, you actually have somebody in FBI brass who is acknowledging that, but it took a long time, didn't it?
Well, we don't have the documents yet, so let's not, jump the gun here.
That's right.
But it is pretty extraordinary that they would just blow off the committee that has jurisdiction over them for so long and not produce these documents, especially since the documents that we've had already have, shown all of these text messages that explain to us and showed us the bias at the top of the FBI. So without the 3,000 pages, we would not have known that. And without the IG report, Michael Horowitz.
Yeah, that's right, which I think points to the fact that there's so much more here. And, we've heard the cliche tip of the iceberg. But that is, anybody who is a journalist who has had to file public records requests know, even at the local level, that public records acts are really seen as subvert the public. And so obviously, you multiply that by thousands for the FBI. I mean, there are ongoing public records requests that have, date back to 20, 25 years. And thank God we have good watchdog groups like Judicial Watch out there fighting these battles for us, outside of the congressional committees as well.
Michelle, thanks for weighing in on all of that. Great to see you.
You too. Take care.
Michelle Malkin joining us there.